One angry mom is speaking out after receiving a disturbing letter from a neighbor regarding her daughter. Take a look. The mother of a young girl with autism recently received a very unwelcome message. According to thedailymail.com, Leah Solomon of Ball Harbor, Florida, received a letter under her front door targeting her 16-year-old daughter with autism with defamatory statements saying her daughter is large and hefty, adding that she has major issues. The letter, allegedly from other residents of her condominium complex, went on to say that her lack of impulse control, screaming, and outbursts are not acceptable, and you have no right to burden us with her diagnosis. It said the daughter was compromising their quality of life and claimed they have sought legal counsel and you will be forced to move. The management at the condominium complex said that it did not come from the office or the condo board and that they do not condone the letter. Solomon says the family now feels extremely unwelcome in their own home.
Awful.
Yeah,
Right.
you would think we have moved past this, but joining us to weigh in on this conversation via Skype, legal analyst Sara Azari. Welcome, Sara. So good to have you.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Thank you. Good to see you guys.
So what I found interesting about this letter is that the perpetrator, whoever wrote this letter, they were the ones threatening legal action. To me, it almost seems that it legally would go the other way and that the family could have some sort of case here. Is that fair to say?
Dr. Travis, I think, unfortunately, neither of them have a case. Let me start with the author of the letter. You can't evict another tenant, even though you have a right to peace and quiet and serenity. When you're living in a community housing type of situation, that right is not absolute. And especially when you're dealing with a disabled neighbor. So what they should have done is gone to the homeowners association. Apparently they had not done that. The homeowners association wasn't even aware that this was happening, nor would they have approved it, and they're right. And so this neighbor really has no cause of action to force this family to move. As far as the family's concerned, you know, I practice in California, but I was researching Florida law. There is no civil harassment type of cause of action in Florida. So really the one cause of action they could pursue is maybe intentional infliction of emotional distress, which is really a stretch because it's as outrageous as the letter is, as cruel as it is, it's intentionally written to essentially make people move. The problem is with the distress. Parents of a severely autistic child deal with distress on a daily basis. And also, in Florida, it has to be extreme distress. And so that's going to be a hurdle that they probably will not be able to overcome in court. And plus, they don't know who the author is. They don't know who to go after, which is the real big issue here. So I think that this family needs to pursue this in the court of public opinion. They need to bring education and tolerance to the community and their neighborhood.
The important point here isn't so much what the legal course of action may be. It's that, and I got to give credit to our audience here and hopefully most people watching. I think one of the things our show has tried to teach over the last decade is tolerance when it comes to medical conditions that others are suffering, because you don't know what they're dealing with.
Right, and I think in this case, this is a 16-year-old young woman, the daughter, who apparently has the functioning of a 4-year-old, but autism affects 1 in 68 kids in the United States, according to the CDC, and the appalling, just horrific act of receiving a letter like this when you're already dealing emotionally with your challenging child. I just think it's
well,
so sad.
And to your point, that means that all of us are going to come into contact in one form or another with an autistic child, an autistic person, and we have to be tolerant and accepting of that and deal with it in an ethically and morally correct way.
I agree, and I think the fact that the person who wrote the letter didn't even put their name on it suggests that they know that they were wrong. They know they need to be more tolerant, and they know they are being inconsiderate of that family.
And they also know that they don't have a cause of action because they're saying the entire community, they named the entire community as the author of the letter. And I think they're just bluffing. They're trying to make the letter be more forceful.
Well, it feels plain and simply like adult bullying.
Yes.
There's someone in that building is bullying the parents of this daughter, and that's all it is. Plain and simply, this is bullying.